finals. So this is actually one of the more important last 3 games of the tournament in terms of getting to that league finals, because you're banking on having a good weekday performance and getting back into that super weekend. But after that, there is no more. That is it. The numbers, they'll be locked in. But here we can see Box Gaming coming against Valdez the Murder. We'll see how Louis can do this one, see if he can climb his way over this fight.
Bigatron fighting off against Synergy as well, but now we're going to focus in on the southern border. There's so many teams around this area, it could get pretty chaotic. Blank. Over the hills, it seems to be nades abound in Miramar for pretty much every squad. The Defilades funneling those grenades in. Break just dodges death by a pixel or two as the nade bubbles over the top there and saves him for just a moment longer. But the next shift comes through, and it's hard northwest. Blank.
Oh yeah, Freestar going to be pretty happy with this one. They're going to remove the last player from Megastars. In Paradox, they'll be sitting pretty with a really nice ridge line to play from, and good high ground, not to mention. But TSM Entity, they're going to have to be that break that all the teams bash up against as they are holding down the roadside. Do they want to move further into the circle? That is the question. But Team Secret, they've been relatively silent towards that eastern side, keeping their position as Secret here. Now moving in. T1, though, they're moving towards the north side. Team Secret will be clashing into them shortly, and right now they're doing one of those mistakes we saw them have early, which is they're a little bit split up. So they're going to try and get back together as soon as possible, because we know that's when they thrive. That's Megastars now going down on the northwestern side of the map. Freestars now claim that entire zone for themselves.
Oh, Pime just gets behind cover there as Goddard goes for the long-range spray. Valdez, the Murder, are going to have that long push to make, but Soda Box, everybody in this area is going to have to leave. That includes the remaining one player of Bigatron. As Jonathan just starts to pop off of the kill feed, gets a double spray down towards GXR Celts. A split GXR Celts means that they are going to be left with just 2 alive.
Reject Scarlet going down to the play zone. Valdez the Murderer just ahead of them, but they are suffering at the behest of that blue zone itself too. It's starting to really zap at their backs. JXL's trying to make their way in, but now it's Box Gaming moving parallel against them. They currently have 3 players on board. You can see Loki there, Pime, as well as Louis. JXL Cells trying to dissuade them away from this compound. It's their last bastion.
But they need to push in further, Blank. They're not in this next zone. They have to leave this building. It's not going to keep them secure for very long. A lot of teams on the southeastern right now, I'm looking at Freestyle. They have the high ground. They have control of all of these sightlines. If it shifts out of the city, they're as good as gold.
Yeah, if we get another northwest shift, yeah, Freestyle are going to be sitting pretty exact, like you say. The issue comes is the fact that they're right on the edge of the circle. They need a hard shift to remain on that ridge side. If they don't get it, they have to come down, and it's quite a long way as well. And Team Secret, TSM Entity, if any of them are looking behind them, they should get the shots off of the Freestyle. So they've got to be really careful as to how they descend from this position, John. Louis taking shots towards Valdez the Murder, who have somehow, some way, made their way into the circle from that long run.
They're not quite done just yet. We'll have to move a little bit further and maybe even try and cross the road here, Blank. It will be tricky. T1 ready and waiting, and they're already starting to take that fight. Velmuth tries to skirt around the side, but they spot it out. No problem. We're down to 9 teams in a relatively tight circle.
New circle about to come onto our screen soon as Team Secret have pressed towards the center of the circle, try and get as good statistical chance as possible. But look at that, it was that hard shift I was talking about. Freestyle could just about sit on the lip of the ridge there. Valdez the Murder, they do go down, but this still favors Freestyle somewhat. But all of the other teams, they're out of the circle. They'll have to move in. Freestyle, this is a really good opportunity for them to start to pepper the teams in front of them with lead.
And they've already had a pretty decent game on the kill counts. That's Bigatron going down, so we're down to 7 teams. In the last 30 seconds, we've dropped from 9 to 7. So we'll see how many more we're going to get into this next circle, because this is the urban crunch that is so tricky. This is why, Avenger on the desk, he says, never go into a city unless you know it's going to finish there. Never go into that environment unless you know that it's going to come towards you. And this is what is going to happen when it doesn't go your way.
You're starting to struggle a little bit. You see that Box Gaming actually taking a knock onto TSM Entity. Now, I was saying that Box Gaming was getting a couple of circles yesterday in the favor, but that's not to say that they haven't fought for a lot of their games, and they can certainly do it. They have the fragging power on board. Loki's extremely low, though, and they're taking so many shots, and this is it. This is what we're talking about. Freestyle can start to pepper these teams, trying to remove as many as possible before they get too close to them.
TSM Entity managed to steal that one away, but it's Box Gaming eliminated on the crunch. 6 teams now remaining. Team Secret have made their way into the circle. They've snuck through that whole battlefield, and they have 2 kills total, Blank. There's really 3 teams where these kills are focused right now, and one of them just went out. It's Box Gaming on 8. You've got TSM Entity on 11 and Freestyle on 9.
It's a high kill game here. It is the guns that are doing the work, not the circle, as we seem to be used to from Vikendi and Sandhawks, who we've seen recently. But T1, let's remember, these guys came down from the northern side. They took a little bit of a damage early on from U level up. Obviously, we saw Sadin go down, but now T1, they're still in the game. They're in an okay position. They could actually even dismount Freestyle. But look at Synergy. They're still in this game.
Zigsaw, the Lone Ranger for Synergy. Catches Neo on the off. I don't think they're going to be able to save that. Oh no, it's Jonathan. He's at range. Of course he has the back, but there is shots coming in at him every which way. Zedgod manages to push close. He's trying to dismount Zigsaw here as he's trying to send around the other side, but he gets spotted out. And it's Zedgod actually to finish it, but he gets knocked in response. That's Team Secret starting to come into the fight now, Blank. Synergy eliminated, down to 5, but TSM Entity are under heavy fire.
The bullets are pouring down from everywhere on this map. There's not really anywhere you can go without taking shots. Now, Freestyle, they've made a little bit of a split here. They sent Malik on forwards towards TSM Entity. So low, one nade would do the job, but it's not quite far enough here. Another goes through, almost well cooked, but it goes a little bit too far. Now, Jonathan zigzagging his way over the top. They jiggle, but he goes down and won't get it. And Ashuf is able to support his team for the backside.
They still managed to get to 5th Blank, and they still managed to get 12 kills. Fantastic game from them, 19 points, but it's all the game for Freestyle right now. They have 12 kills, Blank. They have 3 players alive on the outside of these compounds, and look at the lines of fire they have set up.
Team Secret, really well done. We do have one player from Freestyle up on the top side watching down with the M4. Got a decent compound, but nothing else. Well, decent.
I am never going to be able to say that name in a play-by-play, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I also opted against.
Oh goodness me! It's just a jumble of U's.
Yeah,
I'm sure it is a proper name, but I'm baffled by it.
Okay, nade doesn't go quite far enough to take down any members from T1. GXR Celts, they have a tanky MMJ, a tanky that player I was talking about earlier, really fantastic player, had a really strong win in a Wrangle a little while back, even 1v4 in Reject Scarlet by himself, so by no means count GXR Celts out yet. Freestyle are heavily split though, their players get picked off one by one.
Team Secret, they're taking one knock, but they found a building. This seems to be their specialty, Blank. They managed to just sneak through these cracks and get some sort of a position. And it's really what's seen them so safe moving forwards. And they are going to take the fight with GXR Celts, who are themselves fighting off T1 and the rest of Team Secret. Youngjohn opting for the heel strap. If the GXR Celts do get eliminated, that will see them higher up in the tables. And now, Freestyle, I think they might have taken a knock there. Yeah, Malik does go down, so 3 players are alive, but 2 of them are going to be in operation. The oversight will be taken away as well, and now it's just Kashuf on the outskirts for Freestyle. There's quite some decent sight lines, but nades can send him away quick as anything.
Goodness me, we saw Rex slammed to the floor there. The bullets came at him in a blinding pace. Now Shoof is going to go for that revive onto his teammate Malik, I believe. But Team Secret, they've got a great position to start pushing forwards. Youngjohn out in the circle. He's vying for the 2nd place with that heal off. See if he can make it happen. But Team Secret, they still have to res 1 player on board. Madtoy, far behind, trying to play from the high ground. See if he can spot any players. Currently, their high ground approach from Freestyle is down.
We'll be able to gather the info from the player atop the mountain for Freestyle, so they might be able to track some of these movements. Question is, how long does Youngjohn last out in the blue? If he goes down earlier, there he goes. Okay, so 2 teams remain. This means that it is 2nd place guarantee for both of these squads.
It is indeed. Now, you see eye shots here looking to find these players over the way. U-High obviously is really high frag on the team and can start to shine here, start to blossom at the end of this game where he's able to play aggressive. Now there's only 1 other team remaining and only 2 players up. There's iShots taking a few shots as a shoot. They're going to dashes across, and he actually might get the revive here. And this is where Team Secret know they have to go. This is bold from Freestyle, and Team Secret, they will not allow it.
4-man swarm will start to push out. You can see U-High moving up that cliff face, but Malik spotted it out. He's going to know that it's there, looks for the spray, but he finds a couple of bullets sent his way. Unfortunately, they get 1 knock now. Freestyle trying to ascend the mountain, but they get shut out. It is Team Secret remaining quiet until the end. Then they strike. Beautiful stuff coming out from them.
Exactly, brilliant play.